saw examples of class as well. Understood what is an object. Okay, so how we create an object and what is a static keyword as well. So if I define something as static, I don't need to basically create an object for that. Correct. So this is the difference between the static and non-static. So we even saw how we can use a static method, non-static. How we create an object for a class to use the methods inside that. So the third thing what we are going to learn is we are going to learn first what is inheritance, because that is a core concept of your Java, right? So we cannot just keep on writing programs minimize the lines of code, right? So that's where inheritance actually comes into picture. That's where inheritance is basically used as one core concept in Java programming, and in automation world also inheritance plays a very important role. Okay, so we'll first understand definition standpoint what is inheritance, and we'll see few programs, and also I'll explain how this is used from an automation standpoint. Okay, so first to understand from the definition stand, as you know, right, from this term itself you can understand what is inheritance. Inheritance is basically the concept of inheriting few properties, correct? So we have a parent, we have a child. So the child will obviously having the properties of the parent, right? So if the parent is actually tall, or the parent is actually having few, actually be inherited to the child, because that follows with the hierarchical. So from the definition standpoint, what is inheritance? It's a mechanism in which an object acquires all the properties and behavior of the parent object. That's it. Okay. So object in the sense, for one class, I'll be having an object created. With that object, I can basically inherit the properties of my parent class as well. Okay. So the idea behind inheritance is to create new classes that are built upon the existing classes. Hence, if I want to write a method, okay, that is a generic method will be used across my software, and I don't want to basically rewrite the method lines of code again and again. So what I will do is I will define a parent. I define the method over there, and I use n number of classes in my Java programming, right? So now if you see here in this project itself, I have 4 classes over here. The similar way, I'll be having multiple class files inside my project. So I don't need to repeat my same lines of code again and again if it's been used in Java project in many places. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll define base class and I will write the method inside that. And I'll be using that wherever I want to across my Java program. Okay. So now we will understand in detail how this basically works. So to understand inheritance, right? So I basically have a slide deck created. Okay. So in Java world, right? So we have single, multi-level and hierarchical only supported. So we'll be able to inherit from a single parent. Okay. We'll be able to inherit with the help of a parent, grandparent, those kind of things we'll be able to do. We'll be able to do hierarchical inheritance as well. Hierarchical in the sense one parent having 2 childs. Yes, that we can basically do. But multiple and hybrid, we won't be able to support with the help of inheritance. That's where we have another concept, okay, that we'll be seeing sometime. But for now, we'll understand how this inheritance works, how we write a class, and how we define the methods to use inside multiple classes. Okay. So for that, what I'm going to do, I just want you to, for now, just focus here. Don't do parallelly. Once I write this program, I'll share the same program in the chat so that you can copy it. You can just modify here and there, and you can try it on your own. Okay. So let me do that to you. Let me create a new class over here. So I'm just going to give the class name like inheritance example. So this is, you know how to create a class, right? So now I have here. So inside this class, I can have a number of methods, create another classes, or I can even do anything inside over here, right? So now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to have this as the base class over here. Okay, let this class be here. I'm not going to do anything on this class. Rather, I will just give enter so that I can create multiple classes over here. Okay, if you remember when I started this Java programming, right? So I said your base class name should be your file name. Only then we'll be able to run the program. We can create multiple classes also, that should not be public. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create one more class over here called as animal. Okay, calculating. I'll explain this, then I'll take up questions and I'll also give a program to you. Okay, I'll just open and close. By default, my editor will do all these steps for me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is inside this class, I'm just going to define some methods, define some definitions or variables over here. So I'll just define a variable called as number of legs. Okay, so I will define a generic attribute. So every animal will be having 4 legs, right? So I'm just going to define a generic attribute over here. Okay, and also what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to write a method. I will write a method. I'll have a separate session for method. Don't worry. This is just a set for writing a method. Okay, you have to give an access specifier, return type, and I'll just give some method. Any method name I can give it over here. Okay, so inside this method I'll just use so animals can definitely eat. So animals will eat. Created a one class. Okay, I'm not giving any definition for this. I just have two things defined inside this. I have a global kind of a variable, and also I have a method which is defined, and I have given a SYSO statement inside this. This is one class I have. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to create one more class. Okay, I'll just give class. I'll just give one more class name like dog. Okay, so in inheritance world, that's an important keyword. You know what is a keyword, right? So in Java, there are some special characters or special keywords like public, void. You are able to color change, right? The similar way we have a keyword called as extends. Okay, what is the keyword name? Extends. What does it means is it is going to extend the properties of my parent class. Okay, I'm going to create a dog class which is going to properties of my parent class. Okay, using extends keyword. Whenever I use the keyword like extends, it means it is doing an inheritance kind of attribute over here. Okay, so I'm going to name like dog, and it is going to extend my animal class over here. I just give extends animal. I just give open and close brace. It has been closed successfully. Now, if you see, I have the class name animal, and this animal class is being extended over here. Okay, so what does that mean? That means is I'm going to inherit the properties of my parent class. Which is dog class. Also, I'll do here is see calculating. Inside my dog class also, I just have a method like dog method. Okay, just I make generic so that it will be fixed in your mind. You whenever inheritance concept comes, you can have this in your mind and you can think about how this can be implemented in automation. But don't worry, once this generic example is done, I'll explain you how this works in automation. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I just so statement, and I'll just give this is dog here, and eat bones. Okay, now carefully think. This is my main class. Okay, I mean this is my parent class. This is my child class. Okay, now I have my public class over here. Here's where I can basically create an object for a class, and I can call the methods, right? So how will I create an object? First, I will basically create a main method public static void main of args. Okay, cool. Now it is done. So now I want to basically create, or if I want to basically use the variable inside this animal class, or I want to use this method, what I can do here, I need to basically create an object. So how will I create an object? The syntax class name. Okay, object name, any object name I can give. I'll just give one. Any object name we can give is equal to new keyword of animal, that is class name. This already we've seen in our previous class. Class name object name is equal to new class name. Okay, and A1 is the object. So with this object, I'll be able to use all these methods. Use these methods or use whatever definition of variables I have been defined over here. Now what I'll do, I'll just give a1 dot object name dot. If you are able to see, I'm able to this number of legs which has been defined over here, right? I'm able to use that inside my main method, and I'm able to call this eat of method. This is what I have defined inside this animal, right? I'm able to call this inside my method. Cool. So now if I run this program, I'll be able to print animals eat over here. Okay, so now you understood, right? This is one class. I'm just creating an object for that class. I'm just going to call method over here. Okay, so this is inheritance over here. Now see carefully. What I'm going to do here is I'll just create an object now. My dog class. Okay, so dog. Okay, d1 is equal to class new keyword class name of. Okay, now if I give d1 dot, if you see, I am able in my dog class, right? I just have only one method. Dog method is only I have been defined, but I am able to see method as well as number of legs over here. How come? Because I'm extending this dog class with my animal. So what is happening? My animal is my parent class, and whatever attributes I have in my parent class that has been inherited to child class, and dog can have the attributes of whatever it is defined inside that animal, call it directly over here. So that's what if I just give d1 dot, I'll be able to see number of legs. I can use that one, or I'll be able to basically use this eat of method also. Okay, so I'll just give this in so statement because it is a variable, right? Remove this. So you got the picture, right? So this is basically the concept of inheritance. So if I use an extends keyword, I'll be able to basically extend the properties of the base class, and I'll be able to use that in derived class over here. Now with this inheritance, what we understand, we are basically doing a single level of inheritance over here. I have class A, that is my parent class, and that has been inherited to one level. Okay, that is single level inheritance happening over here. I just give single level inheritance. This is now clear. Now we will understand how multi-level works. Multi-level in the sense I have a parent class, I have a child class over here, and I can have one more child class which is being